anyway.
Yep.
And then you're stuck with managing them in the adult section, which is a really not good space either for them. I would really like to see a lot more community integration of care.
Yeah.
Is, I think, where we'll get bang for buck.
Yep.
ED will still have to manage, the crises, but more around prevention and support to families and,
Yep, 100%.
Like, I've had families bring kids in. I just remember one kid I had when I was out at Palmerston. They brought him to the emergency department like hogtied, because he took to his sister with an axe,
God.
And so his stepfather hogtied him, and then he smashed the car window on the way in, and they just pulled into the ambulance bay.
Oh my God!
It's just like, I've got this kid hogtied in the car. It's just like, oh crap. But he was actually really calm when he came in, and we just gave him an iPad and let him watch that, and I think he had some autism spectrum disorder, and his father was in prison in New Zealand for pedophilia. So I think this kid had a really tricky life.
Yeah, God.
And had this underlying, but the mother was clearly struggling, and had no community supports at all. She had just hit this crisis point when I went through with her, all the things and supports that she'd had. She just hit brick walls. I think that, just acknowledgement for, I think that integrating community care, and if you can do that when the kids are well and the parents are taught strategies, and then there's a crisis strategy when they come to ED, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a negotiated plan kind of thing.
Yeah, yep, rather than starting from scratch.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, Sandra, do you know Jonathan Knott at all?
Jonathan Knott, no. Where does he work?
He's one of my supervisors, but he's one of the emergency physicians in Melbourne. He works at the Royal Melbourne, and he was integral in opening up. They've got a behavioural assessment unit, which is kind of what you're alluding to, that kind of...
Oh, at Royal Melbourne?
Yeah.
Yes. So I think maybe I need to see his face, but I did I have hospital envy. There was a Quality Improvement International Conference, and I did the experience day where you went and saw how they managed the mental health. So we did a bit of a tour around, and that was beautiful, just this integrated care with mental health and emergency, because I know a lot of our nurses feel like they don't feel well trained to manage a mental health patient, and so they tend to shy away because they don't know what to do. Whereas if you've got that model where you've got a mental health nurse with an emergency nurse in this unit, that would be just incredible.
Yeah, I think they have social work, and it's it's kind of like a short stay unit, kind of what you were alluding to, that you can be like, oh, you're agitated, but we know you're safe here, so we don't give you anything. You can just sleep it off, and then we'll get social work to see you tomorrow. Anyway, I was just going to say, I don't know what your obviously position everything is at Darwin and Palmerston, but if you want me to link you in with Jonathan, I can send a CC'd email. I'm sure he could provide you some info.
I'm pretty well aware of what they're doing there.
Great.
And I've had a discussion with my director around that, and I've told him the part of the department that we can see. But it's going to be a slow journey.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that the culture between our emergency department and mental health is probably not as wholesome currently to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, fair enough. That's fair. I think that's the case at most places. I don't know how they've got such a good, like a kumbaya type situation at the Royal Melbourne. I don't know how they've achieved that.
Yeah, no, I come back and I sat down with my director and said, I've got hospital envy.
The rest of the Royal Melbourne, because I used to work there, the rest of the Royal Melbourne's terrible. Like, the actual wards are just, they're a total dive, but the emergency department's quite nice. And their ICU, they've got a nice, like, fancy new ICU, but the rest of the hospital's not very good.
All right.
But
yeah.
Okay, beautiful.
No, was brilliant. And you thought, and having a psychiatrist who is dedicated to the emergency department, a psychiatry team, I think then that creates a collegiate working relationship.
Yes,
around
definitely.
Improving, and then you can improve patient care because they don't kind of see you as they're like, oh, what are you, like whinging about, you know what I mean? Like
Yep. Especially if that's their only job. Yes, mental health. Mental health in the ED is very tricky in lots of ways, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think that's probably all my questions for you, Sandra, unless you have anything else that you wanted to add.
No.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for being interviewed. I really appreciate it. It's obviously, we need people to be interviewed, otherwise we'll have no data. But it's also really helpful to get the different opinions from people from all the different hospitals. It's really fascinating to see, like, every hospital obviously has its own challenges, but also shared challenges with this group. So I think the data will be really interesting. And as I said, I originally was hoping to have the data from all the different craft groups, but because of COVID, the other groups have kind of been put on ice for now. So I probably will just collate, I think, the emergency physician data, and I'll send that around. And then once I get the other craft group data, I can obviously send that around as well for people's interest.
Yeah, it will be interesting. It will be really interesting to see how you go. Are you getting like a varied range of discussions with the consultant group around Orphacen's?
Do you mean in terms of background or?
I guess, just from other Facens that